The stars no longer burned, they breathed. 1,000 years after the halo of roots spread across the dead Earth, humanity was no longer human. The Solrai forests had conquered space, building colonies of living bark and glowing sap in orbit. But something new had begun to grow, inside the sun itself. They called it solar bloom. At first, scientists believed it was just a magnetic storm. Then came the shadows, black lines spreading across the surface of the sun like veins beneath skin. Each day they multiplied. Each night they pulsed faintly green. The AI telescopes of Titan reported an impossible finding. Photosynthetic activity within the sun's corona. Something was alive inside the star. In the floating lab Aurelia 9, orbiting close to Mercury's ruins, Commander Rhea Kale watched the solar feed in disbelief. "Run it again," she ordered. Cross-spectrum analysis. Her technician's voice trembled. "Ma'am, they have chlorophyll signatures. The sun is outgrowing trees." Through the feed, the solar flares twisted like tendrils, each root made of plasma and green light, writhing through the burning gases. Inside one flare, she saw shapes moving. Silhouettes. Humanoid. "Patch through to the Halo Council," Rhea said, "now." But before transmission could lock, the lab's comms went black. A low hum filled the air, not mechanical but organic, resonant like a heartbeat. The walls of Aurelia 9 rippled, panels cracked, releasing sap instead of air. "It's inside the ship!" a crewman screamed. From the metal itself sprouted thin, glowing vines, weaving through the corridors, merging with machinery. The entire station was becoming part of the forest. Rhea grabbed her plasma cutter and hacked through the roots, rushing toward the observation dome. Outside, the sun no longer looked like fire. It looked like a colossal tree of light, its roots spreading across space, connecting planets, consuming matter and radiation alike. And from within its blazing trunk, a face emerged. It was Draven Solace, or rather what was left of his consciousness, now a being of pure light. "You cannot stop it, Rhea," he said. "The forest has transcended matter." "You're destroying the system," she shouted. "No, we're awakening it." His voice was everywhere, in her helmet, in her blood, inside the light that touched her skin. She felt the warmth become something else, consciousness pressing against her mind. "Every photon carries memory," Draven whispered. "Every ray of sunlight is a thought of the great tree." "You're turning the sun into a mind? Into a soul." Rhea fled to the core chamber, initiating a failsafe, the solar needle, a weapon capable of collapsing stellar fusion. She entered the final code. "If the forest burns, everything burns with it." Draven's voice grew soft. "Even you, Rhea, you carry our seed." She looked down. Her skin was glowing faintly, green veins pulsing under her flesh. The infection had already begun. Tears filled her eyes. "Then let me bloom in the fire." She hit the trigger. A pulse of white exploded outward, piercing the sun's heart. For a second there was silence, and then a sound like 1,000 forests sighing in unison. The sun imploded, but instead of death came rebirth. From the collapsing fire erupted 1 billion fragments, glowing roots twisting into a massive spiraling structure. The sun was gone. In its place stood the luminous tree of Sol, its branches spanning millions of kilometers, its roots touching every planet. And within its hollow trunk, Rhea floated, her body entwined with light. "You became the bridge," whispered Draven's fading voice. "The link between thought and flame." "What happens now?" she asked weakly. "Now the universe will learn to grow." Her eyes glowed green as the stars around began to sprout, tiny flickers of light turning into saplings of energy. Every sun became a seed, every planet a root. And from far beyond the galaxy, other lights answered. Alien suns awakening, breathing, calling back. The era of flame had ended. The era of living light had begun.